Hello, this is Christian Sullivan, and you're listening to The Sullivan Report. We have a very, very special guest. Former Queens East business agent, Philly Servider, will be here answering questions. We have a jam-packed interview, loaded chock full of information. You'll definitely want to listen to this. So let's talk about the GHI and the health insurance.
Well, here's the thing. The city and the unions are supposed to come up with a savings, right? Mm-hmm. When GHI and HIP first talked about merging,
right,
the city unions wanted the money. It was supposed to be millions and millions of dollars from the merge in savings, right?
Right.
Como wanted it for the state. Bloomberg wanted it for the city. Dennis Rivera at the time wanted it for the health and hospital workers for his union. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they talked about all this money from this merge. The merge happened, but nobody told us where the money went. Who got all that money?
Right.
Did the city and state split it? Because remember, besides pensions, he was always talking about the health cost. Mm-hmm. Especially Bloomberg. How much it costs for health? How much it costs for health? Mm-hmm. Okay, so where did all that money go? I mean, I know they raised co-pays and deductibles. Okay, right? Everybody got their co-pays and deductibles raised.
Right.
Okay, but where did all that savings go? Because you still raised my copay and my deductible. Then you talked about with that savings, they raised the copays and deductibles. Sorry to be repetitive. Okay, so who got the money? We don't know. All right, there's also the Health Stabilization Fund with hundreds of millions of dollars in there. Right. All right, so the Health Stabilization Fund is a fund created by the Municipal Labor Council, right?
Right.
That if premiums ever wouldn't really apply, they would take that money to cover it. Mm-hmm. So it'd be safeguard the city and it would safeguard the member.
Right.
More than 2 or 3 times, $500 million during budget shortfalls the unions gave to the city. Mm-hmm. All right, just gave it to them. Mm-hmm. All right, so you gave them money out of the Health Stabilization Fund. All right, all this money the unions are giving the city to help, right? That we don't get any credit for.
Right.
You know, meanwhile, nothing's getting any better. Mm-hmm. You know, and here's one for you. If the unions in the city really wanted to have a health savings, why don't we have one eyeglass plan for all city workers?
Yeah.
One dental plan for all city workers.
Right. Absolutely.
One prescription drug plan for all dental workers. Could you imagine if you put...
That's a great idea.
That was one of my things I was looking to do. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine putting 350,000 people into one of those plans? The buying power and how much better coverage you can get. Mm-hmm. All right? Because everybody says, the cops, they have a great plan. Of course, they got 35,000 members.
Yeah. But now you got 350,000. What kind of a plan can you
We only got 6,000 members.
Yeah.
Okay? Oh, the foremans, they got, 1,500 or 1,200?
Right.
All right? The chiefs got maybe 800, right?
Right.
The corrections officers, I think, is 8,000. Mm-hmm. FDNY, just firemen, is like 9,000 maybe.
Right.
So you have all these people doing their own thing, so all these vendors are making a ton of money. Uh-huh. But if you really wanted to create a savings and give the employee a better plan, you'd pull it all together.
Right.
Oh, you know what I forgot? If I don't have my own security benefits, I can't give my family and friends jobs in those security benefits with pensions and medical coverage. Mm-hmm. That's right. So everybody has their own security benefits, and then whoever's running that union hires who they want to work in those security benefits. Mm-hmm. You see how it just...
Absolutely.
That's what's costing the city so much money.
Right.
It's not us. It's all the layers of bullshit that go on in there. Mm-hmm. You know, by the way, that guy Brower, you know what it says in your security benefits? And it says he, somehow or another, he's involved with the medical fund too. I'm pretty sure his wife and kids get medical from the city or definitely from the union.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody's giving them medical coverage, okay? Mm-hmm. So but this is what goes on. So they say they want to help us. All right, so GHI merged. Where'd the money go? Mm-hmm. All right, co-pays and deductibles went up. Hundreds of millions of dollars out of the stabilization fund. I don't know how many times, at least 3 times that I know of, to help the budget. Where did it go? They want to have a savings, right? They opened up these bullshit clinic not too far from the clinic.
Right.
And Weight Watchers. Fucking Weight Watchers, really? Why don't you give somebody gym reimbursement membership so to get them to go exercise?
Yeah. How come they don't have these business agents shopping for better situations for us, like going around to the parking garages near the clinic and seeing what the best deal they could get for us, you know, for guys that have to go and drive down to the clinic.
They'll never do that. That'll never happen. Because you're supposed to take mass transit.
Wow.
You know, you're supposed to deter people from driving them. But by the way, we had parking outside the Union Hall for years, and they took it away from us. They changed the signs, and they took it away from us. So we had to park at M3, which was maybe a 10-minute walk.
Right.
They were crying about the 10 minutes. They would jump in a cab or carpool. I used to walk back and forth because I'm not jumping in a cab for friggin' 10 minutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they would cry about the walk to the car.
And yet these are the guys representing us who have no sympathy.
Yep, exactly. So, oh man, there's just so much to go over with medical. I can go on and on with medical.
What about the prescriptions? They stopped covering the prescriptions, and then we have a card now.
Here's the thing. When certain places, and I got on the bandwagon after it started, we got certain drugstores to give the members the medication,
right? Yeah,
without paying anything up front, and the reimbursement would go right to that pharmacy,
right?
So apparently the members were getting their prescriptions filled,
right?
Well, the union felt that was probably costing too much money, so they created that one drugstore was robbing the union,
right?
But they didn't give us the drugstore. They didn't give us the location. And they didn't tell any members whose names they were using to do it.
Right. And they didn't try to get them reimbursed the money or anything.
Because it didn't happen.
Right. Yeah. So
it's just a bullshit story they created to stop doing that with the pharmacies so they can get a better handle on it, right? To stop the members from using the program. Because now there was no more cap when they did that. The federal government's waiver expired.
Right.
So there was unlimited cap. So how do you stop the members from using it? Either A, you make them lay out the money, or use the card. But that's what it was done to discourage you from using your own plan. That's it. I would still love to know. Tell me what pharmacy did it.
Yeah.
Were they arrested for stealing?
Right. You didn't pursue it? Nothing happened? You didn't try to get reimbursed?
Because it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Wow.
That's why. But everybody thinks, just put it out there like that.
Right.
And that's what we'll jump on. You brought up union dues before, 16 to 18. Did anybody receive a notice in the mail when they were going to raise union dues about a membership meeting? Did anybody see anything posted anywhere about a membership meeting about raising dues?
No.
Well, some guy told me, I said, what are you paying now? He goes, I don't know, $18 or whatever. When did they raise the dues? I don't know. Well, did they have a meeting? When did they do it?
Yeah.
Because the one time we did raise the dues while I was there, it was $1. We had to bring guys down, shop stewards and guys down, as a quorum to vote, say we approve. But at that time, we got a gigantic raise, and it was a no-brainer to get guys down there. But up until that time, right, or any time after that, did they have a meeting to raise dues? The bylaws say you got to have a membership meeting, let the membership know what the meeting's about, and that you're doing it about raising dues.
Right.
How'd they get away with that one? Or was it one of those things, post it and have somebody rip it down behind you?
Yeah.
Right? Do they still post any membership meetings?
No.
Every 3 months?
Nope.
So if they don't post
the only one they posted that actually stayed up or was actually put up was the one for the African American Society recently.
That's not a membership meeting.
Right.
A membership meeting.
But that's the only one that Harry Nespoli went to that, they told you ahead of time because they try to keep us in the dark.
But a membership meeting, according to the bylaws, is supposed to be held at the Union Hall 4 times a year.
Right.
Okay? And the members are supposed to be notified about it. All right? Just like the election coming up, they probably won't post it until after nominations or right before nominations, so nobody could do anything
And what
about
a sham that is. Who's running against them?
Well, probably nobody.
Yeah. And
I find something funny, though. There was a retired fireman that wanted to run for the UFA. I want to see if that applies for me. Maybe I'll give them a run for their money.
Yeah,
I got more time on my hands now. I want to see where it says I can't run. You know what I'm saying?
I wish you would run.
Because the teams can't say I'm not a member in good standing because I'm a retiree.
Right.
Where does it say retiree can't run?
I would love that. And
I wish I had money because a lawyer would really help out in this situation.
Yeah.
Just to stir the pot. You know what I'm saying? Because
Philly, I wish you would. I wish you would get rid of these guys. A
Yeah.
lot of them anyway.
Yeah. Listen, the a lot of them, all of them, they all condone each other's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You got the other guy on the phone, Lewandowski. He could never come in, stay late, and he never had to come in early. He told me, my hours are 7 to 3. I go, so you're going to leave Jimmy by himself in the morning? No one of the other guy's not coming in? Were you going to leave and leave the other guy by himself when it's really busy? Harry told me I'm 7 to 3. That's what I work. And then come in and sleep every chance you get at the desk. Close your eyes every chance you get. It's just amazing. It just goes on and on.
You know, these are the things that the people on this job don't realize what's going on down there.
Well, and here's another thing, you know, they talked about. When we first got the 3-quarter bill passed, right? And I just got to the union hall right after it got signed, and Harry had a meeting with all the business agents and Pete Scott, and they said, we're going to have somebody from the union hall going down with the members.
Right.
And that's going to be Mark Ostrowski and Louis Lucchese. They're going to go with the members to NICE's for their 3/4 and the paperwork and everything is going to be handled here. We're going to do it. Now, time goes on, and Louis and Mark are doing it and helping guys and going down there. And Louis retires. All right, Louis still on the job. Then all of a sudden, Mark and Louis ain't going to NICE's anymore. All right, you got to get a lawyer. Well, a lawyer costs you $4,500 to $77,000 to just do the paperwork, which anybody can fill out by themselves. So why am I going to give somebody $7,000 just to fill out? If you go on the computer and see what forms you have to fill out,
right?
It's just really your medical records and why you can't work. But now there's nobody from the union helping anybody with this. So now you got to lay out the money. You see how it goes on and on, the layers of bullshit. It's just, and these guys have no idea. They're getting fucked, humped, and stuck every which way, and they have no idea what they're doing, what's going on with them. Because nobody knows, you know. Let's see. Oh, you talked about the trucks before, and we talked about safety. You know, there's a couple issues with that. For starters, we always had orange shirts, right, and green jackets with orange reflective wear.
Right.
All right. The union let the city change that to green shirts, no more orange shirts, no more orange vest, no more orange jacket, no more orange hats, to green with gray reflective stripes, which was useless. The orange was much better. Okay. And the guy from Q1, Justice.
Frankie
Justice. All right. It was an unfortunate accident.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody loved the guy.
And his wife, I hope she's listening to this because she probably... OSHA and New York State Department of Traffic wanted to know why he wasn't wearing reflective wear. That's one of the things that came up.
Right.
All right. Well, why did the union let the city take our orange away and go to green, where there was no reflective wear?
Right.
And if it was a state law that we were supposed to be wearing vest, all right, where was the city and state then? And the union, most importantly, the union let them change our uniform.
Right.
Okay. Now we have a tragedy that may have been prevented.
Right.
All right. Or other guys that were hit by cars that could have been prevented. Why did we let them take the orange away? Okay. And with that, now they find out they got to have a vest on, or reflective wear. How come we didn't go back to our original orange vest that we had? We had a vest that was green on one side and orange on the other. We had hats, orange hats and green hats. We had our ring gear was always orange. How come we didn't just go back to the orange? Why did we go back to what everybody else wears, lime green?
Right.
You know, and the new thing that I'm hearing from different guys I see, and to be honest with you, I try to lay low and not see anybody.
Right.
Now they got the split body trucks doing composting on one side and collection on the other.
Right. No weight on one side.
Exactly. So we had this argument a while back with the paper and the metal. The metal would be dumped at one place, and then you'd have to drive further with the paper, which would create an unbalanced load.
Right.
Which under the commercial driver's license, under New York State, you're responsible to have a balanced load.
Yeah.
Why are we allowing even more unbalanced loads?
Right. They should use a full collection truck for that.
They're going to have to, because I can't see them winning this. It says, and
all these trucks are complete. They got pictures on Facebook. Trucks completely in a tilted position, just barely scraping.
I tell you, I know one guy. If he was on the job, he'd fucking flip one for sure. or maybe a couple, because there's no way it's unsafe. And it's not only unsafe to our members; it's unsafe to the public.
Right. That's
why doesn't the public know about what they're driving next that could tip over and kill them and their kids?
The same thing with these exhaust fumes and exhaust soot that's blowing out all over the place with these kids with asthma.
Yeah.
And these, it's just amazing that these people get away with this.
So, we go. The safety doesn't end there. What else? Why don't they enforce? And I'm not going to make too many fans with the guys, but you're not supposed to be doing two sides of the fucking street. Mm-hmm. All right? Unless it's a tight street.
Right.
I'd rather do one side up and down as fast as I can and come back around than run like a jackrabbit in and out. Okay?
Right.
But the department won't enforce it. The union says you shouldn't do it, but they don't really tell the guys not to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then we have tragedies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where they want to write you up for no seatbelt.
Right.
Right? But they won't stop you from doing an unsafe act because they want the route done.
Mm-hmm.
There's something not right there. Or the guys, when they took the steps off, right?
Right.
Which to this day, I think was more dangerous than anything because you had guys hanging on the truck. I don't know if they're still doing it.
And how many guys get hurt now because they're climbing in and out of the truck?
Yeah. And that's the other thing. On the knees, the back, the wear and tear. When you tell people there's two guys on the truck and there's no step, you got to get in and out.
What was the story with that? Why did we get rid of the step?
Me personally, just another bullshit story. I think Harry had a pissing match with Doherty, and about the steps, and Harry said, "Well, fucking cut them all off," and the commissioner said, "No problem," and he cut them all off. I don't remember anybody, maybe one guy in 20-something years that fell off the step that reported an accident in Lodi. So they said, "Oh, too many guys were getting hurt." Well, who are they? Where were they from? And what were their injuries? Because I didn't hear of too many.
That's one thing that I think we should do as a collective body in this union, is we should get a report. We don't have to put the names in there, but how many guys are getting hurt with this year? How many guys are getting hurt with that year? How many retirees are dying from this and that and the other thing? This is all information that we need at our fingertips because we don't know what's going on.
Exactly. So now the step comes off, and guys are complaining. Like I said, I had no idea until I went back on the route the first night what the difference is, especially if you're in Staten Island or parts of Queens or Brooklyn where it's long-ass walking.
Right.
That step's a big to-do. But, just show me who got hurt and where. I just want to know who it was.
Right.
All right? What? There was more to that story. I'm trying to remember.
Well, I thought that part of it was Harry thought that it would slow the guys down, and that's why he was more for it.
Yeah, probably so. You know what I'm saying, at the time. But if you never loaded a truck, what would you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then you still tell the guys they got to finish. Now, you went from riding a step to running 7-8 miles a day, if not more, chasing the truck. And breathing the fumes in at the same time.
Yeah.
It's bad enough when you're on a step, you had to breathe the fumes in.
Yeah.
But at least you weren't gasping for air.
Right.
Now you're running along the side of the truck, walking fast,
really breathing it in,
breathing it in even
deep
deeper.
And down, yep.
And it just, one of those things. But that's what happened. They were unloading the truck. Let's see. Here's one for you. When guys do get hurt like that, or they're being forced off the job, medically separated,
right?
All right?
Why isn't the union coming?
Why do we got to Why do we got to pay a lawyer to protect us?
Right.
To do their job.
The union should be doing that.
And here's the other thing: as guys retire and they have hours they're not using or terminal leave, I still got a copy of the letter I sent to the commissioner. I wanted to donate like 2 months of hours to anybody of equal pay sanitation worker that needs it for a family emergency, so they don't have to go without pay when they run out of time.
Wow,
Why couldn't we create a pool?
Right.
I wanted to create a pool that people that don't use all their hours or they give a day back or 2 days, why can't there be a pool controlled by PMD,
right?
And the union checking it and say, hey, you know what? This guy's wife, God forbid, is terminally ill, and he needs more time off than he has in the books. So instead of letting him go without pay under the Family Leave Act, why can't we use those hours? Because they've done it for different individuals in Brooklyn when somebody had a really sick kid. All right, so why can't it be done citywide that I can't donate my hours to somebody else that may need them, especially, God forbid, if it's a tragedy?
Yeah.
That's
a great idea.
God forbid, there was a guy in Q12 that had gotten cancer and he didn't buy the 20-year pension.
Yeah.
And he was short. I'm still trying to find that guy's name out. And he was short, and Frank Assisi, I was told him, well, you got to retire then. Take the third. And take the third for the wife, your option for your wife, which is nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas he was so close, if we had that pool, or if we all donated hours, he could have put his paperwork in saying he's using all these hours. And if he would have died from the time he started using that time, right?
They would have covered him.
His wife would have been entitled to half of his regular pension.
Wow.
Or what the percentage or whatever. He would have got his half pension and she would have got the percentage for the option that you take for your wife, which would have been considerably more.
That's a question I wanted to ask you. You have a 20-year pension, but you do 25 years, and something happens to you. You die unexpectedly, and you're still on the job. Do you lose your pension?
Here's the problem, and I tell a lot of guys this. If you stay past your 20th year, you technically, I tell guys this all the time, I would always have my paperwork filled out, all right, and signed, and possibly dated. If something happened to me today,
right.
You know what I'm saying? But I would always have, because I'm thinking about retiring every day. So I got it filled out, I got it signed. The only thing I don't have on is a date. Now a tragedy happens to me, the date's there. Guess what? From the time that paperwork's filed, my wife's entitled to half. My half pension minus what the option for her.
Wow.
So she would get something. If I just drop dead, she's only getting 3 years' salary, plus whatever I paid into the pension, plus maybe $40,000 for the accident, if it was an accident. If it wasn't, it was a sickness, that's another story. And my annuity money.
Wow.
So what good is that? It should be, if they want to put a bill in, right? It should say, anybody that reaches the eligible retirement and dies unforeseen or gets sick, their wife will get their pension with the option for the wife.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't say that. And the thing about that was, I read too much. There was a state trooper upstate, right? And he was home. And he fell off a ladder. And he went into a coma. So while he was in the hospital, his union, I guess a real union, went and got all the paperwork for his retirement because they knew he wasn't going to survive. And they had it all filled out and signed by his wife. And the fax machine at the hospital was broken. It wasn't going through to where the agency had to go through before he died. So they denied his wife the pension. So they did an Article 72, I think it was Article 78, and they went to the state Court of Appeals, and she got the pension.
Wow.
You know, so there's ways to do that if you really want to protect your members.
Right.
But the way I understand it, you don't have your pension paperwork in, you die, 3 years salary, whatever vacation time, unused hours, and your pension contributions. That's what you get. So anybody with 20 years, I would always have my paperwork filled out in my lawyer's hands and say, he just told me he was going to submit them yesterday. We just talked about it. We filled them out. We just got to put the date on. You know, and that's how you cover your ass. I mean, but nobody's educating nobody on this stuff.
No.
You know, scary once again. All right, we talked about the hours to donate. Dues, membership meeting, GPS, contract, safety. What was this? The annuity fund we covered. Oh, politics. Here's one for you. All right, so they take out dues money.
Right.
And they give it to politicians.
Right.
Right? That we have no say on who's getting what. All right. The last time I checked, we had sanitation police. Right? They wear uniforms and drive in blue and white cars. Right? Pretty much like the regular police.
Right.
So if I'm looking to hurt a cop, I can't distinguish, especially if I'm from out of town, the difference between a sanitation cop and a New York City cop in blue uniform. Or a school safety officer. This is for Teamster Local 237, who represents the school safety officers, which is Gregory Floyd, all right, who's on the Joint Council 16 as well as Harry. So we're going to take our money and we're going to give it to organizations that basically give their money to supporting cop killers.
Right.
All right? Some of our money doesn't belong going to those things. All right? They should be going towards our members to benefit our members.
Right.
Occupy Wall Street. We gave money to Occupy Wall Street donations, okay? Occupy Wall Street, get this. They were against Wall Street, but you know who pays our bills? Wall Street. Wall Street bonuses before the 2007 crash came down, the housing crash and everything, the recession. $600 million the city was making just on taxes or for bonuses on Wall Street.
Wow.
$600 million on taxes off of bonuses, plus all the other taxes we got out of them. All right. We have a rally against Wall Street. We give people from Occupy Wall Street money, but without Wall Street, the city and state doesn't make enough money.
Right.
That's where we make all our money from. Yes, some of the things they done were not fair.
Right.
But let's think about how we got there. And I hate to touch on politics. Back in when Clinton was president, Cuomo was Undersecretary for HUD, Housing and Urban Development.
Right.
And may have even been secretary because that was the favor. He got his job because his father didn't run for president against Clinton in the primary.
Right.
It's amazing how we it just everywhere. It's sickening. So they tell the banks, you got to give loans to people to buy houses, but you got to loosen the restrictions. But you got to give them loans because everybody should be able to have a house.
Right.
So they pressured this Acorn group at the time, which also got money from us. If a bank didn't give somebody a loan for a home, they would go pick it outside the bank.
Yeah.
Until the bank changed its stance. So under Clinton and Cuomo, they forced banks to give loans to people that really didn't qualify.
Right.
All right. So then the banks and Wall Street turned around and said, you know what? If you're going to force us to give loans to people that don't qualify, we want to be able to buy insurance. That if they default on their loan, we're not using money.
Right.
So that's where credit default swaps came in, which were basically banned after the Depression of 32, which was the Second Depression.
Right.
And credit default swaps were, I could buy up those bad loans and get insurance on them. So if they don't pay them, I get paid. So that's what Wall Street did. But nobody talks about how the Democrats pushed the banks into giving these bad loans. And the bank says, well, if you're going to make me give bad loans, I want insurance.
Right.
And that's how the whole collapse started. So, but meanwhile, we're giving money to groups that are going against Wall Street who all pay our bills. I just don't understand it.
Right.
And so many other organizations that just go against everything we do. And they take our dues and they just give it to whoever they want. Then the best part is, like I said, with the Affordable Care Act. They give our money to them.
Right.
They get the Affordable Care Act, and then they apply for waivers to get out of it. All right? Hoffa said that. I went to the Teamster convention like 5 years ago. They're probably there now, these assholes. But, or that was last year. They at the convention, we're going to get NAFTA repealed.
Right.
We're going to get NAFTA repealed and replaced. So you would think Joe Biden speaking there, Cory Booker, all right? We're going to get it repealed. You know what they did a week after the convention?
What's that?
They broadened it. They put a regulation to make it easier for Mexican trucks to come in. All right? So you're going to get it appealed, and we're giving all our money, our dues money, to the Democrats. And guess what? They just stuck it up our ass again. You know what else he said at that convention?
What's that?
We're going to get the Keystone Pipeline approved because a lot of jobs there, and we got to go through the Interior Department, which falls under the Secretary of State, which was Hillary Clinton at the time. Never got done. Never got done. But this is where we put our union dues into. All right? Why are union jobs, all right, on the whole, why are there so many less union jobs? I took the Long Island Railroad into Manhattan not too long ago, and then I was talking to a guy in the Carpenters Union. I go, you guys are busy out the ass, man. I can't believe all those buildings. He goes, we got guys on the bench. Same thing with electricians. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, those buildings are all non-union, a lot of them.
Wow. I didn't think they could do that.
Yeah. And here's the best part. We're down to probably the lowest union membership throughout the country than ever. All the unions, the major unions have is public employees.
Right.
Okay? But let's think about this. Why do I want people coming here that don't... Anybody can immigrate here.
Sure.
My grandparents immigrated here.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
They became citizens. They learned the language. They took the test at the time. My uncle served in the armed services and defended this country.
Right.
They paid their taxes. They did what they had to do to be here.
Right.
They came here legally.
Right.
Okay?
See, that's the difference. Legal and illegal.
Exactly. But all these people...
Not everybody can get on the elevator.
Exactly. All these people say, but we're all from immigrants.
Right.
Cuomo says it, and Schumer and Hillary. Yeah, we all did come from immigrants, but I came from legal immigrants. But now, let's think about that. You let people come here illegally.
Right.
They don't pay taxes.
They flood the labor force.
That's where I'm going with this. They don't pay taxes. They free medical. They're eligible for food stamps.
Right.
They're eligible for housing. All right. They get an ID card. All right. They drive down wages. All right, because they flood the labor force, like you said. They're doing all these union jobs, non-union scabs.
Right.
All right. But yet we're giving money to all the politicians that want this to happen.
Right.
What is wrong in this picture?
Right.
We're
sabotaging ourselves.
We're paying for our own demise.
Yeah.
And the union brothers and sisters finally woke up this last election. I mean, I don't like Trump. I like Cruz.
Right.
But at least they finally woke up, and I hope the union leadership realizes that the people we're giving our union dues to are the reason why union membership is down.
Right.
And they're helping to destroy us. And not only are you helping to destroy us, guess what? You're helping to destroy my children's future.
Yeah.
With admissions into college.
Yep.
And when they go for jobs, these other people are going to go going for the same jobs. You know what I'm saying? Let's be fair here. I got a lot of people that do work on my house and different things, and I talk to different guys in different places. Personally, I have no problem with nobody. Most of them are really good people.
Of course, absolutely.
And I feel
bad.
It
has nothing to do with whether we like them or not. It's just like Patty Quinn. I like Patty Quinn as a person, but he's not doing his job. Yeah. It's two different things.
So the point I'm making is, yes, I like you and I feel bad for the situation you're in, but you know what? My kids got to eat first.
Right.
My family's got to eat first. My people got to be taken care of first.
Absolutely. If
you come here the right way and do it the right way, I have no problem with this.
You know, but we got to control it just like anything else.
But you're giving my union dues to people that want to broaden this, that don't think sanctuary cities. And here's the other thing.
Well, it all goes into that New World Order stuff. I don't want to get into it.
We're not going to get to that, but I just want to close on this. And what everybody fails to recognize in New York, it's not just Hispanic immigrants.
Right.
We got the largest Asian illegal immigrant, probably Middle Eastern, okay, the African. All right, we got them Eastern European.
Right.
All right, we got them all here.
Right.
All right, they're not just from South America.
Right.
All right, we got them all here that we're taking care of. Okay.
Right.
And that's why union membership is going down, and that's why
try to explain union, paying union dues and being in a union to somebody that came from a really poor country. They don't understand that.
They'll do it for less.
Right.
Just like one guy told me years ago when I was in the Carpenters Union. And I said to him, I says, why don't you become a citizen? And he told me flat out, he goes, well, if I become a citizen and they reenact the draft, I don't want to fight for this country. I said, maybe you don't have to worry about fighting for this country. Maybe you get thrown off a scaffold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, with a straight face. And that's the other thing why a lot of people don't want to become legal. Right. They don't want to be thrown into the pool.
Right.
Okay, so who's gonna get killed? Our kids? It just goes on and on. But the point I'm making is we give our money to them, and they take our money and they destroy us.
Right.
Like
the union.
Like the union, yeah. Think about what I said. We still got to find out where that 12% went. Right. If it went to anybody, right?
Right.
Okay. And how many members do you have on the job now? How many sanitation workers are there now?
I don't know.
Okay, so let's say you went from under De Blasio, you went from 6,000 to 6,500.
Right.
Or even closer to 7,000.
Right.
And they're all paying union dues every week.
Right.
Union coffers are full.
Yeah.
Guess what? Did they vote themselves raises, the board and the business agents?
We wouldn't even know because they don't even tell us when there's a general meeting.
No. I know. I got a raise.
Why don't we get a statement every year of what the union receives in as far as, dues and what they're paying out and how much?
You could request one, but the problem is they'll send you a book 2.5 inches thick with the writing so small.
Right.
You need a magnifying glass to read it. That's what they like to do.
What is it called?
The annual report, I think it is.
All right, because I'm going to request one anyway, and I'm going to try to get my magnifying glass out and find out what's going on.
Oh, getting back to the election, I just remember one thing. So I put an appeal in, right, for the election.
Right.
And they appoint the people running the election to hear the hearings. So I got all that paperwork too, but they send me a copy of it, and it's 4 pages on one page in microscopic writing. I can't get it enlarged. I got to use a magnifying glass. It's killing me to read.
Right.
And I'm finding all the mistakes and I'm pointing them out. And it was a lopsided hearing. Right. They were all there because I said, when I said I wanted to send a letter out, a notification, you jerked me off for 2 months, 3 months. You didn't tell me yes or no. And then you send me a nomination notice saying that if I want to mail a mailing out, I have to go through the election, the people running the election.
Right.
That would have to pick somebody, which would be in September when I started this in May.
Right.
Well, it took us time to find somebody. So they found one broker with 3 different companies, by the way, which were non-union.
Right.
All right. That did the mailing for the election. You know, so it's just more bullshit on top of bullshit. I can go on forever. Maybe I'll think of more stuff. And that's it. You got anything?
I'm pretty good for right now. I mean, listen, we could always meet next month if you think of something else or whatever, a couple weeks, you know. I mean, we could always do this again. You know, there's no limit.
Well, how about this? Maybe you could find out for me. Did anybody from the union march in the parade this Sunday with the terrorist?
Hello, everyone. I wanted to briefly stop this interview because Philly wanted me to make it perfectly clear who he was speaking about. He thought he had mentioned it in the interview. He was speaking of Oscar Lopez Rivera. I'm going to be playing a brief clip, a news clip from Fox News by Brett Baer, Eric Shawn. They did a great job on this video clip where they explain who this guy was, what he did. You'll see why Philly was so concerned with this guy let out of jail early, with who showed up to this parade after being told that this guy was going to show up, that certain people actually supported this guy after what he had done. So without further ado, here is the news clip and the rest of the interview.
Obama is also taking heavy criticism for commuting the sentence of a convicted terrorist. Senior correspondent Eric Shawn has that story from New York.
It was the terrorist bombing of an American landmark, where George Washington bid farewell to his troops. The 1975 attack on New York City's Francis Tavern. The culprit, the Puerto Rican independence group, the FALN. Now President Obama's decision to commute the sentence of convicted FALN leader Oscar Lopez Rivera, who has been serving a 70-year prison term, is sparking outrage from the FALN's victims.
The enemies of our country are being rewarded and treated as if they're heroes. And what we hear is that Oscar Lopez didn't get to know his family. Well, neither did my father.
Joe Connor's father, Frank, was one of the 4 people killed that day. 60 others were injured. It was one of more than 70 bombings in the 1970s and 80s for which the FALN took credit. In 1981, Lopez Rivera was convicted of seditious conspiracy to overthrow the U.S. government. He became a cause célèbre among supporters who call him a freedom fighter, imprisoned for his political beliefs.
The President of the United States, this President Obama, has really shown that we have to reach a level of reconciliation.
But Joe is not so ready to forgive.
There's no political prisoners. The United States does not hold political prisoners. These people were terrorists.
The president's move cuts Lopez Rivera's sentence short by 34 years. He will walk out of the Terre Haute, Indiana federal prison a free man on May 17th. And President Trump, by law, cannot reverse his predecessor's decision. Brett?
Eric, thank you.
No, I don't know. I really don't know.
Was the board down there like they usually are every year?
I don't know. It's interesting. I didn't even think of that.
Is there any way we could find out from the Post who marched in the parade?
Interesting.
Why, you know, I was thinking that all last week. I even tried to call the Post 3 times and said, "You're talking about everybody that's dropping out.
Right.
Let me know what unions are in."
Right.
Because you know DC 37 was going to be there because their guy is Garrido is the president. You know that Teamsters Joint Council President Miranda, he's going to be there. He's got a big constituency.
Harry Nisboli's not going to be there, the head of the Municipal Labor Committee?
An 831? With that guy that's not on the job no more, but still runs the Hispanic Society.
I mean, maybe he didn't go, but I would be surprised if he didn't.
And then again, you know what? If they could find any excuse not to, they would, because they hated showing up at anything. You know, so it's a possibility they could have played that card.
Isn't it true that he didn't even like to come to the hospital if somebody got hurt? Like, there was one guy in Q7, he really got hurt bad.
Yeah, but, you know, like I said, and I said this before, I took the lead on that one, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't go there, but I was there every day, and I didn't think it was a big of an issue, especially, you know, when Mikey was in a coma. So but should he have volunteered to come? Yes.
Especially when somebody gets hurt that seriously.
Yeah, but did he always go to the hospital? No, the procedure was the business agent always went to the hospital. Just that went on for so long. That even maybe
I can't imagine being the president and me not wanting to show up if one of my guys gets hurt.
Well, the funny thing about it is after after he was released from Queens into Mount Sinai,
Yeah.
he drove past there home every day up on the Harlem River Drive.
Oh, man.
He could have parked and jumped in or out,
Right.
But, he didn't think of it. I didn't think of it. Was it a bad choice on his part, maybe? Did I push the issue? No, I didn't. Because I was there every day doing what I had to be done.
Right.
So there was no reason for him to...
I just think he should have known better. You did your thing. You went there and you visited him. You cared.
Yeah.
But how do you not show up to, even if you didn't like the guy, you still go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the right thing to do, but I guess he doesn't care.
Wait, here's one for you.
Sure.
Supposedly there was 2 guys off their route that got suspended when the Commissioner of Corrections used his card illegally.
Right.
There's a big thing in the Post. Well, how did he made a whole big thing. 2 sanitation workers
Harry did.
were suspended, yeah.
Right.
And lost this much money, but that guy uses a card to go somewhere else. The only thing he didn't tell us was, which I doubt, they were on collection, was their route complete, and then they went, because then they shouldn't have been in any trouble.
Right.
Or were they assigned to baskets or cleaning where you're not allowed to leave your route for any reason?
Right.
Because if you ask me, it sounds like they were on cleaning and they weren't on a regular collection or recycling route, and they left their assigned cleaning route, which is an all-day function that you don't get done, and went there, and that's why they got suspended. And all of a sudden he's got something. What about the guys that get suspended for bullshit with the progressive penalty system? Where are you on that? Or when the foreman says, this is the best one I like at trials. You finished your route, you dumped your truck. All right, they do a roll call at the end of the day, and they say, well, we're docking you from the time your truck was dumped, because we consider that the last time seen. All right, and then you get in a complaint and you're losing another day's pay. Well, who's to say that after my truck was dumped, I was gone? Maybe I just left a half hour early. You never asked me, but that's what you're doing.
Right.
But you let it go on and on. What about those guys that it happens to every day? What about the guy that has those 3 bullshit complaints and now you want a day's pay from him? What about the guy you changed his shift, the last minute notice, and he has nobody to watch his kids, but it's his 3rd or 4th time?
Right.
You're still docking him and giving him a complaint.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and it happens.
And you don't even get to speak to anybody down at the trials. You just talk to the lawyer. The lawyer already knows what your punishment is because he already knew what she wanted to give me.
Yeah.
It's such a scam.
But what about all those people? We're concerned about the 2 guys that were off their route.
Right.
That went to check on his house.
Right.
Okay, but what about everybody else every day getting fucked in and out? Or the clinic suspensions. Right? Or the clinic complaints.
Right.
Where you got to be on call 24/7, whenever they call you. Those are the real more important. Those guys I feel bad for.
Right.
But there's more to the story. But what about everybody getting fucked and suspended on a daily basis? You got me going, Chris. Thank you.
Well, listen, Philly, you're the best. I really miss you. A lot of guys on this job really miss you. You're the best business agent ever. And thank you so much for coming here. And I hope you join us again. Thank you so much, Philly. You're the best.
Thank you, Chris, for having me. I don't know about being the best. Sometimes I think
Believe me, you're the best.
Sometimes there's still many a days I think of what if,
You're the Yoda of labor rights. In this.
What Harry told me one day? I'll make you laugh. About, I guess it had to be about 15, 17, maybe even 20 years ago. They took away our bulk trucks, right?
Right.
And that was one thing that was going on. We used to have special trucks for bulk because we had side-loaded trucks. And I had put a vacation change in with, the union, Angel at the time, and the clerk. And I leave Saturday, and I'm on the board to work for Monday.
Right.
So I said, okay, my vacation change must have went through. So I come into work, and as I'm looking at the board, the super, this crazy bastard, they got a stone outside the district firm, so he comes in with his shirt rolled up under his arm, and his son, and he goes, you're not working today, you're going home. I go, what are you talking about? I'm on the board to work. You got an illegal vacation change, and you're fucking going home. I go, fuck you, I'm not going anywhere. We'll see about this. So we're going back and forth. So the clerk, who wanted to be the business agent at the time, who was like to be in the office and tell you to stay out all day, but right, when you were out, but then did your overtime at the end of the day, another one of those,
right?
All right, says, oh, it didn't go through. I go, well, how come nobody told me on Saturday? How come nobody told Angelo on Saturday? Why am I walking into this Monday morning? So I'm back and forth, and I get an order. You better sign out and leave. And I says, all right, well, fuck you. You're going to pay me for showing up. So as I sign out, and I'm writing down, you will pay me for today. They snatch the sheet from me and they get, you will pay. So now I get suspended for threatening the officer. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, I was so mad I had my banana in my hand. I threw it in the garbage, which was like 5 feet away from the super at the time, right?
Right.
So they said, I threatened him and I threw the banana at him. I go, I would have fucking nailed him in the head if I threw that banana at him. I was so close. If I wanted to hit him, I could have hit him.
Right.
And I never threatened him. Mm-hmm. All right? So they forced me on a 30-day rip. So wow. I don't want to take the 30 days without pay. But ironically, I was going away the week after that. I needed it, so it didn't matter. So I go down. I'm talking to Harry. I go, Harry, this is bullshit. Mm-hmm. He was the vice president at the time. I go, I didn't do this. If I wanted to hit him, I would have hit him with banana. I didn't threaten him. I was writing down they're going to pay me for the day, and they took the sheet away. Mm-hmm. And then I was telling the guys, fuck them, leave the bulk on the street since they took our bulk trucks away. Mm-hmm. He goes, you're a dinosaur in the modern world. Right from him. He goes, you're a dinosaur in the modern world. There's not guys like you. Yeah. And he tells me, well, if you go to oath and you could lose your job. The scare factor.
Right.
If you just take the 30 days and it's over with and that's it. I go, well, I'm not signing anything that I threatened anybody because I didn't threaten anybody. I'm not going to have that on my record forever. Mm-hmm. And then when I go down to get reinstated, I'm there with the lawyer and I says, I'm not signing that. I didn't threaten anybody.
Right.
You could make it 30 days, but I didn't threaten nobody. But they wanted to build the case that I was threatening somebody. But he said, yeah, you're a dinosaur. So sometimes I'm proud to be a dinosaur in the modern world. Thank you.
Thank you, Philly. You're the best. All right. I appreciate these stories.
No, I got plenty.
Thanks.
All right, be good.